now is Dr. Robert Inskeep, a longtime resident of the area, and I understand you are a strong supporter of the millage to fund the library. Do you want to explain that to us?
I'd be happy to. Thanks for the opportunity to be here to do this. We've been residents of the area for about 23 years, and I wanted to have an opportunity to talk about the library millage that's coming up because, quite frankly, if the millage doesn't succeed, we will not have a library in Independence Township. Right now, the supervisor and the treasurer of Independence Township has gone on record that without the millage passing, they will not support funds coming from any other source, if there are any other sources, to continue the library. We are fortunate to be part of a network of libraries within the area. If our library closes, we won't be able to turn to libraries in Brandon, we won't be able to turn to the Waterford Library, the Lake Orion Library, the Springfield Library for loaner services. We will no longer be a part of that unique network of sharing among all of the many libraries that we have in the area. Libraries meant a lot to me and my family and my friends through the years, and I just really would hate to see it go for all of the things that it's done for us. Let me just kind of share some of those things with you. Ever since my son Matt was in elementary school, Monday through Sunday, the library was a place for him to go to work on his school projects, his book reports, and all of that sort of thing. It was a place for me to go too, to work on my dissertation, to work on research, and just have a quiet place to go and to be. The library has even offered me an opportunity for me to meet with some of my doctoral students at Lawrence Tech University to talk with them about their dissertations and to work on some of the work that they were doing. It has really been, I guess, just a great source of one-on-one information. I've used the reference librarians a lot at the library for information. I've had an opportunity to refer a lot of friends and people at some of the various churches around the area to the library for help about information about jobs when they were out of work and seeking jobs. The library has a tremendous amount of resources in that area. I've also used the library for a lot of their books on tapes. They've saved my life literally in terms of keeping me awake on some of those road trips and things that we've taken. But I've got to say that the library provided me with probably the greatest service last year. When I, after retiring, slipped into a bout of depression and just sort of found myself just wondering, who am I now? What am I going to do with the rest of my life? And the library provided, I guess, just a really kind of a quiet, safe, comfortable place for me to go to sort some of that out. There's an area over in the library where there's couches, and it's quiet, and it's comfortable. And particularly during the day, I would go there and I would have the opportunity to just kind of read and think and be surrounded by just a whole lot of energetic, positive people who, even though I wasn't talking with them and interacting with them, just made me have a sense that things weren't nearly as bad as they were. So with the help of that place to go, professional help, the support of my family, I managed to get my head back on straight. And that's just something that maybe people wouldn't normally think of the library as providing that kind of a haven.
Right, yeah. I can see that, and I like that little back room as well, that little quiet area.
Yeah, it really is neat and kind of unique for a bustling library like the one that we have here.
Right. You've talked, I guess, about your personal contemplation there, and it's a place that also people can go and share ideas together. Can you explain, a little more detail about that?
Well, libraries through the years have always been a great place for people to kind of come together, not only for their own individual learning, but to kind of learn together and do things together. And as you know, we're becoming more of a isolated society, so that place for people to come together in a physical kind of a place, those places seem to be shrinking. Small communities, suburbs, don't tend to have enough common meeting kind of places to kind of support group activities and growth and action. Schools, churches, they do what they can as far as gathering people and bringing them together, as does the government. But as a society, I think we need more common places for that kind of action, and we certainly don't need less. The library through the years has provided a number of programs and group purpose kinds of activities that I just think would be a shame to lose if we ended up losing the library. I made a note of some of the things: the book club discussion groups, preschool story time, toddler, 2-year-old programs. But there have been a lot of civic meetings that have been held in that location. A lot of the nonprofit groups that I've been associated with, the North Oakland Headwaters Land Conservancy, they've had meetings there, special events, Historical Society. I even remember going to some early joint training programs on use of the internet and an opportunity to just, I'm not real technically oriented, as my son will tell you, but it's been an opportunity to go and again, in a kind of a safe adult learning kind of environment, learn a lot of those things that are going on. And I've attended a lot of government committee meetings and things like that at the library. We need that. We need that space. We need that place. And I really would hate to see that lost if we lost the library.
Now, in this day and age, we can find information online. Kind of everything's right at our fingertips if we want it to be. And there are other places. There's coffee shops, or there's other places. Why specifically do we need the physical library?
Well, that's a good point. So much is digitalized, and there are those opportunities to just kind of Google whatever we want to know and have it right there. But that opportunity to maybe interpret and understand is lost, I think, if you're not in that kind of a setting where you might be able to use the reference librarian or talk to somebody else physically about what it is you're reading and you're learning. Not everything is digitalized. Not everything is out there. The kind of personal experiences that people have and share in a physical setting might be lost. And you got to remember, too, that all of that technology, all of that equipment still costs money. And to maintain that and to have that, there are individuals who, again, may not be able to afford all of the latest in terms of technology. But if we put that money into I guess a kind of a common setting and a common source place, like the library, people of all walks of life and different socioeconomic strata can come and use the library and have benefit of it right there. I just can't say enough for it as a physical place where, again, we can not only use technology, but learn about technology and how to use it, and kind of foster the educational goals that we have for using something like a library.
Any final thoughts or comments you want to share with us about this millage?
Yeah, I'm really not an expert on the millage, and I'm not by far an expert on the library. It served me well, it served my family well, and I appreciate that. I just think that it's a vital part of the community. I just think it would be a shame to lose this very unique resource in our community. From what I understand, the millage might cost the average homeowner $125 annually in taxes. Now, granted, that's an increase over what the funding level has been in the past, but funding level, as I understand it, hasn't changed in the last 35 years. And as you can imagine, with the shrinking ability of the dollar to buy things, we really have a decrease in funding over the last 35 years. So I would hope that people would realize, I think somebody gave me a statistic the other day that since 1999, I believe, the actual buying power of the millage that's provided to the library has dropped 40+%. So I guess what I would say to you and to all of you out there is, I'm not an expert on the library. I would ask you to go out and maybe learn a little bit more about what the library can do. Go to the website, www.indelib.org. Find out about the library, and when August 5th rolls around, get out there and vote yes for the millage for the Independence Library.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you coming on and sharing this.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.